Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at a character from the most recent wave of vintage collection figures for 2024, and it is Professor Huyang from the Ahsoka series. I've been a huge fan of the character since their appearance in the Clone Wars, and it's really nice to see them make their way into live action. Furthermore, it's equally exciting to finally add them to the collection. We currently have a decent offering of figures from Ahsoka, but we desperately need more. We need Baylan, Shin, and Marok for our collection, and simply more villains in general. But with all that being said, let's take a closer look at Professor Huyang. Taking a look at our vintage style packaging, we have the Star Wars and Ahsoka logo placed nicely up top, followed by Professor Huyang on a cerulean blue nameplate color. We have a lovely image of Huyang aboard the Home One, with the Kenner logo down below, and all in all looking pretty fantastic. The Professor comes with a number of accessories and pops nicely against that blue nameplate color, but it has to be said that the card back and figure do not match very well in terms of their metallic color. On the back, Huyang is VC 311 in the line, and we have a small description of the character followed by the Vintage Collection logo, plus additional images of the card back and figure. So I'm really excited to finally have this one in hand, and Huyang will make for an excellent addition to my Ahsoka carded collection, which is already 6 characters deep and counting. Taking a look at Huyang out of the packaging, I have to admire the level of detail and sculpting that Hasbro can offer the vintage collection, but once again, I would have preferred a closer metallic match for this figure. I personally think the metallic paint application seen on his backpack would have been exceptional, and part of me wonders if Hasbro had originally intended to use that color. Taking a look at the articulation, he's got everything you're going to need for a number of different poses. The ball jointed shoulders have a decent range of motion, and the elbows can achieve a full 90 degrees. Unfortunately, there's no hinge at the wrist, and Huyang is left with a swivel joint, which is a bit of a letdown in my opinion. Huyang has some wonderful range of motion at the neck that will capture a number of sassy expressions, which is always nice to see. Moving on to the torso, the figure is armed with an ab crunch plus swivel at the waist, which is rather impressive and continues to push the level of quality Hasbro can deliver on these droids. Naturally, we have a soft plastic apron, new style hips, swivels at the thigh, and rocker ankles. The backpack now has the standardized peg seen on all vintage collection figures, and has a pair of stationary arms that can be easily removed and replaced with the pre-posed ones included with this figure. While I'm grateful these were included and some swivel articulation is present, the lack of any meaningful articulation on these arms is a huge letdown and really limits the number of poses that you can achieve with this figure. I personally would have liked to see the arms fully capable of posing in the fighting stances that were seen in the show as Huyang trains with Sabine Wren aboard the T6 shuttle, especially considering that Hasbro included the training saber accessory. Huyang comes with a datapad and a lone training saber, both of which lack any paint applications, which is also a bit of a letdown. Kyber crystals are useless unless you give them life, and Professor Huyang has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to teaching Jedi how to construct their lightsabers. This all new from the ground up figure is another impeccable example of 375 tooling, and is truly worthy of recognition in the archives of the Jedi Order. Once again, the vintage collection continues to exceed my expectations, keeping 375 alive. Fully loaded with new style barbell hips, ball jointed everything, and rocker ankles, this droid will pose effortlessly. Additionally, the sculpting on this action figure is top notch, but it has to be said that the paint applications seem to be lacking on the main torso, and some proper treatment would have truly taken this release to another level. Furthermore, the soft plastic used on the apron has been sculpted well and has some wonderful attention to detail, and more importantly, does not hinder the figure's ability to train younglings and apprentices or take a seat aboard the T6 Jedi shuttle. The only issue are the smaller arms and their lack of meaningful articulation or closed grips. I would have really liked to see all 4 training sabers included, optional arms with closed grips, and saber blade attachments of some kind included with this release. Regardless, between the exceptional sculpting, decent paint applications, and overall posing ability of this figure, Professor Huyang will make for a fine addition to our Ahsoka collections. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at the latest vintage collection release, Professor Huyang from the Ahsoka series. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to smash a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.